call meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do roll call.
Mayor Manning,
Here.
Keel,
Here.
Monahan,
Here.
O'Hara, Randall,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
and Brenneman is absent with notice.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the agenda or make any additions?
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Look for a motion on previous minutes from 11/4/2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the 11/4 meeting.
I'll second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstaining or opposed? Okay, next, a motion to approve bills submitted for payment.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
What was the curb repair? Where's that at?
One of them was, up by the, building center up there, where they dug through it, and then we ended up billing for that. The other one, I think, was over on, I thought they said Mary Lane.
Okay, there was two, so it was curb / gutter repair, so that was the,
Yeah, there's two spots that they did a little patching, just repairing on.
Anybody else? I got another one too. What was, Mitch, what was the bill on Mickelson? 3,000 and something?
We're still working through the FEMA flood mitigation study with them, so we have to do a WOMAR, and we received comments back from them a few weeks ago, so we were busy making revisions to that and resubmitting it.
Alright.
And then probably have some warranty items that we were working on as well
Okay.
too.
I got one other, the geotech asphalt tests, now how does that shake out? Will that be on the contractor or?
So
will
we
that be
hired Geotech to take the first set of tests,
Yeah.
and you're under contract with Geotech to pay for testing of those.
Yep.
Anything that's retested, and the contractor did retest those areas that failed, they are paying for that bill.
But this is our test.
Yeah, this
because we
is our
tested.
test, this is our standard
Okay.
testing that we do for the project. Again, they did do some testing on their own that they're paying for themselves, so if we do see a bill coming through, we should be redirecting that.
Boy, I read through my stuff, didn't I? Man, I scoured through that bill.
All right, any other discussion?
You're not curious what the 2 wrenches for $150 are?
No, I didn't even catch the wrenches. I see we bought a set of chains for our Sterling truck, we like that Sterling truck.
All right, we'll vote. Monahan,
Yeah.
Jones.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
O'Hara.
Yes.
And Randall.
Yes.
Alright.
F-250, deferred F-250.
Public, now it's time for public comments, any public input on any agenda items? Alright, we're at 7:06, so we are right in time for our 7:05 hearing on liquor license renewals.
So the list of liquor license renewals are in your packet. They are all renewals, they're current liquor license holders, and the year for liquor license runs from January to the end of the year. All have submitted all their paperwork to Karen, and she's collected that plus all their fees for it.
And I think you notated someplace, Teresa, no violations that we're aware.
Not this year, so that's good.
That's always good.
Yep, that's fine.
Can we do this as one lump, or do we need to meet each individual?
You could do them all at one if you wish.
I'll make a motion to approve renewals of liquor license as presented.
Second for discussion.
Discussion.
I don't know whether there's any truth to it or not, but I heard Blue 42's no longer gonna be in business.
Yeah, Karen
So
got a,
how does that affect the license?
so Karen got a phone call this morning, basically saying, yep, their lease is getting pulled, or however that's working. For this renewal, so the owners of that property are going to, the liquor license is gonna transfer back to them. So they're gonna have to go through that transfer process. So when they're ready to start that, they will have to submit to the city, some transfer paperwork. We'll have to advertise it for a public hearing again, and then it'll transfer over. Now, I don't know if it'll get done in this month time frame. So probably the best thing to do is renew these now, so, you know, the liquor license doesn't fall off, and then let them go ahead with their transfer of it.
How was it, cause I vaguely recall a couple of years ago, didn't we have a discussion about liquor licenses staying with the property instead of with a business owner? Or how was that?
Well, they're under somebody's name who
Yeah.
has that property, right?
But didn't it have something to do with malt beverage or liquor that was actually designated to a property?
And that's how liquor, all, whether it be malt beverage or liquor license, are tied to a property,
Type of
so.
property?
So, Blue 42 has a liquor license, they can't go sell beer in the Sunshine parking lot, you know, or whatnot. They are tied to a property, so. that's
But
what
then to either transfer property or transfer the name, it's just paperwork.
Right, exactly, it's
Okay.
paperwork, and
Alright,
like I said, I think best it's to renew them now, just so we don't lose that license,
Yeah.
because if you recall, we are actually one license ahead of what our population calls for, and if it falls off, we can't get that back, so just make sure we renew them, and then let them worry about transferring it to the.
I did that similar question. Teresa and I had this
Yeah.
conversation earlier today. I asked the same thing, and since they had paid and applied, that's what we assumed that we.
And Karen, is working with the
Yeah.
state.
Just to make sure they're aware, because it's kind of all gonna be going on at the same time,
Right,
that our end result is it renewing at the end of the year.
regardless of whose name it's in.
I just heard it late today, so I was
Yeah.
just curious how it works with
Yep,
that.
yep.
It is FBO, Facebook official.
Is everything official on Facebook?
It's been talked about for a long time, but it's now out there, so.
Really? Well, I just heard about it today, so I must be in the wrong groups.
Zuckerberg was on Capitol Hill today, so that probably helps it.
That's fine.
All right, any other discussion? Matt, we'll vote. Randall,
Yes.
O'Hara,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
and Monahan.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have a special event application for Hartford Hometown Christmas.
Listen, you can join me. You're in this with me. So you can fire away questions at either one of us, but Hometown Christmas will be much different this year, and a lot of it is still getting figured out. We are working to make as COVID safe of the event as we can. As far as city uses, a lot of it will probably remain the same of what we're asking for from the city. I'll probably ask for Grace to be in contact with Craig as we're getting closer of any tweaks. We may be looking at expanding the parade route a little bit, just to offer more length to it for people to spread out of. And most events will be taking part downtown. The vendor show will be at the Dakota Plains Event Center with a much smaller vendor show than normal. And then everything else is pretty much gonna be downtown here. We have asked for permission to use the city lot just south of the brewery, and we're looking at putting up a couple of big tents there and heating those to give some more space to have things in. And then we'll be using the Legion and the brewery and the senior center But looking at limiting capacity in all those areas and requiring masks of everybody who is working the event, encouraging masks of people who are coming to the event, and making it work. The fireworks show will be spectacular, and the parade hopefully will be as spectacular as ever, so those events should happen without a problem. And, you know, we're just kinda almost making it up as we go this year, you know, so a lot of the same things, but a lot of, you know, obviously we won't have the big kids carnival, but we're having some other things that, you know, people can do, and there'll be a lot of opportunities for drive-ups and takes, so like even breakfasts or meals, they can pick up and go. Instead of a make and take, it's a take and make. So there'll be opportunities for people to do things digitally. We're looking at having the parade be, you can watch that remotely digitally, and the fireworks and things, so yeah, we're working hard to make that all happen, so.
We're gonna provide, hand disinfectants at the different stations that people can go to, and we're gonna have masks that are available for people. Of course, she does all the research, they're gonna be Christmassy masks. Not just,
Yeah, not just a regular.
they're gonna be-
Maybe some Grinch ones, maybe not. So, yes.
Sign me up.
There will be a Grinch character, yes. We've got a whole costume you could wear.
He already has his own.
Yeah. Does the announcement that was mentioned previously affect, you said the Coeur Plains Event Center, so?
Yes, I believe we're okay. Yeah, we've had some conversations and that's,
The ownership group, and they're okay with us using it.
Sounds good.
yeah, so,
Great.
so we should be good to go with that, yeah, so.
Thank you.
Well, great job being adaptable. It's,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have expected back in March, you'd still have to deal with it
No.
now, but,
Hopefully next year we'll be back to normal.
yeah.
This one's been a tougher one to plan, so, but yeah. But so, you know, a lot of the same things from the city, but again, a lot of the details, if there's anything that changes, if we can just have the freedom to talk to city personnel of any tweaks with that, but it would be more minor of if we need different streets, whatever, blocked off. Right now, we're still working that out for the parade and everything, but downtown will have to have shut down, which we usually do anyway, so there's really nothing different with that. Just won't be horses this year, no chasing in and out, so.
Sure.
So pray for good weather. Pandemic and winter is a little bit.
All of that. All right. Do you want to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the application for hometown Christmas and waive the $5 fee.
Second.
I seen that somewhere in the notes.
Get it?
Second, yep.
Perfect.
And I'll just point out, Karen actually caught it, it has the wrong Sunday on it, has the
Oh.
first Sunday for 2021. We'll change that on the application, so it's the correct one.
Oh, man, I can, maybe I better rescind, I don't know if I want to be part of that.
It's still December 6th, right?
No, it says
Sunday.
fifth.
You have the 5th of 2021 on the application, so I'm just saying we'll correct it on the
You're
application. So, yeah. You're already here.
I just want to skip this year altogether, obviously.
Maybe we should just add to the motion whenever. You all right with that, Levon? Second that, I'll just say whenever.
That's what you call being adaptable.
That's what she said.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? All right.
And you're okay with city staff helping out with all this, I'm assuming? They requested to have city
Yeah,
staff, so
staff on
I just
that.
wanted.
I would say that's
We're
fine.
okay
We
with
need
that, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, we're good,
Yep.
we're adaptable.
You're adaptable. All right, and next item up is Greg Olson from Golden West.
and he cannot make it, so he got pushed to the next agenda.
Alright. Well, chief, we got the fire department report.
I'm gonna be out of here early tonight. Let's keep rocking. Yep. Well, I'll keep it short and sweet for you then. Well, welcome. Thank you for having me here tonight. Kind of a recap of October 2020. We had 36 total calls, 20 of them in Hartford here. Through November has not been a slowdown. We had one day in particular in November. We had 8 calls on that one day. So our pace is still pushing pretty hard. Training wise, for EMS, we covered patient packaging and movement, talked about some new ideas, new techniques, the out of the ordinary patient, out of the ordinary location. Actually had to put some of those things into use already. Fire, combined with EMS, they worked on vehicle extrication and patient removal from wrecked vehicles. I'd like to thank Oak Leaf Auto Crushing for providing 4 cars for us to cut apart into pieces. That's pretty valuable learning for the team. So with that, I'll open to any questions you may have.
I drove by the night that you guys were doing that vehicle extraction, extrication. That was a very lifelike scenario there, one on its side. Yeah, it looked like some really great training. Dark, lights, I mean, it was real world, it looked great.
Well, what could have been was raining or snowing, and we could have had it even better. So, but it's fun to challenge the ones who, we'll say, don't have as much experience, because I know in particular, as we got done with the main scenario, we kind of broke off and got multiple groups going. We had one car on its top, and I challenged the team on that one that give a car on its top, person inside, stabilize it. You can't get in through the windows and doors. How are you going to go get the patient? And they had to think it through. They got it figured out and burrowed in through it and cut in through the trunk and back seat and able to get in there. So it's really thinking outside the box and on your toes and knowing you have to do it quickly.
That's excellent.
That'd be something good and Jamboree Day or something to have set up and have them do that sometime for the city, the citizens to see that.
And it's not an easy task. Those tools are heavy.
Yeah.
When you're at 65, 75 pound tool in your hands trying to then manipulate it and control it, it's a workout.
And it's cold.
Well, that's good.
Alright, yeah. Any other questions?
All right, thank
That's
you
awesome.
guys.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Alright, we'll move to city engineer report. Rich?
Thank you. I didn't have much to update you besides that item with the testing. The contractor did do those retests now, so if we do see the second invoice come through, we'd want to redirect that back to them.
Yeah.
But I will follow up with Geotech and just make sure that they're doing that on their end.
Okay.
But they did retest, and we saw the report just last week, and it appears that all the failed tests that they did have out there, they're allowed to go and retest those areas within, I think it's 18 inches is the standard. And a lot of those tests now have come back passing. Besides one test was still 1 percentage point low. So we're gonna gather that report and get it for you guys to view. But so since then I've had more conversations with the contractor. I feel with those passing reports, we can kind of put that as concern aside of the density test. Still having the concern of the area that they paved in the rain. We've had conversations about extended warranties, possibly a deduct on there. So they're still thumbing through that on their end and gonna propose something to us. So it's in balls in their court. We're just simply waiting for them to respond.
Do you think we'll get something resolved by the end of the year?
I would sure hope so. I mean, with the testing coming back last week, Zacharias thought he needed a couple weeks just to, because it's going to involve his bonding company to come forward if we are talking about a warranty. So he needed time to kind of figure that out on his end.
So he doesn't really have a deadline per se?
We haven't.
To get the information to us and take care of it?
We haven't given him a deadline necessarily. We haven't given him a hard set deadline. If he doesn't get us something soon, I guess we can, follow up with another letter and just,
I just don't, I
Yeah.
hate to see this go.
yeah,
Yep. Sometimes people need some deadline.
yeah.
So on that project, Mitch, we're still withholding payment, right?
We're still withholding payment, so.
And the warranty won't start till when?
Well, the warranty starts from when you as the owner occupy it. So once it was open to traffic and people were able to drive up and down there and access the driveway, that is when the warranty starts. The warranty they have in place with the contract. Now, any extended warranty that we negotiate with them would be above and beyond that. So again, we are withholding payment. Usually that's the incentive for them to close it out and get the contract closed out. But I will follow up with them and just tell them that we're antsy to get this resolved and try to push them along some more.
Super.
Other than that, we talked about the force account last time, and I followed up with the mayor a little bit just on, if we needed to make any updates there. I did include just our monthly minutes. I think Teresa forwards those anyway, but that does give a little bit more detail in regards to the force account, so I thought maybe I would add to the report. But anyway, it's very similar to what we have been doing in the past, and I guess if there's any feedback that you guys want to see done differently.
So I have a question about the engineering coordination meeting. I guess I was probably one of the ones last meeting that was most concerned about kind of knowing things and
Sure.
having information that is prudent to positioning at the table here. Is there certain people only that are notified? I was a little disappointed to see this and not have been notified about it.
Nope, that's perfectly fine. We can't all be there.
Okay.
So, and this
Yeah,
was,
right.
we've had two now at this point. The first one, it was, as far as the council goes, I was the only one there. And then what I've decided to do after that is invite 2 council members each time. So,
Okay.
so when's the next one?
31st or 30th?
30th.
Say it's next Monday.
If you would like to be on the next rotation,
I would.
you're
I mean, I
absolutely-
think it's good information, especially being newer.
Yep.
To this council, it's, yeah.
It's good information. It's a little deeper dive into what we're doing and what's happening there. Yep. Perfect.
And
Yeah.
do we have a date, a time or a place?
It's at 12 o'clock in our office, at noon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else on the council know that that's the one I wanna hop into?
I'm gonna check, I know I got one other thing that
Okay.
is on that day.
Okay.
You asked me to come to the last one, and I could not, I had something going on that.
Oh, that is correct, yeah.
I was on the list the last time and I didn't make it.
Let me know, we'll make sure Randall's there, and we'll try to get one other person there too.
Good.
Alright.
Any other items you think of?
That is all I have, unless you guys have any further questions. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Mitch. Alright, Craig, we'll move to your report.
Just a few changes in my report. We are discharging. Everything came in and did get permission from DNR to discharge, so we started discharging on Monday. We'll probably continue till the end of the month, and we should be low enough where we can shut them down. But everything's looking good so far. That Sagehorn lift station, we got it working at this time. I think it is capacitors. I've got some different ones that I've talked to guys at Baldwin today to get some different ones ordered, so I'm gonna go with a little bit heavier one. So hopefully they'll keep working, so I think the problem's, it's working now, and I think that's the problem with them, so we'll get them switched out and get new ones. The only other thing too is, we will be keeping the tree dump open. We'll open it up and shut it. We'll just have somebody come in at nights and shut it or whatever, just kind of work through the details with passing around, so. That's all I got. Unless anybody has anything for me?
We're still scheduled at next right after Saturday of Thanksgiving. right?
Saturday,
That's
Thanksgiving,
Saturday,
last
So we got like just a week and a half.
Yeah, there'll be 5 more, well, actually, today we're going 1, so 4 more times, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, nothing else, thank you, Craig.
Thanks.
Move to Karen's report, anything to add?
No.
No, nothing to add? Any questions for Karen? Do you wanna ask about the benches now? Mr. Meyer?
Oh.
No, I was just curious whether Art, I'm surprised Art did.
Well, I see
$75
that-
a wrench, I'm surprised you.
Well, I see they were for Ford, so I didn't wanna bother it. I didn't wanna bring that up and have Travis or somebody pick on me for Ford. So,
All right, nothing else, thanks, thank you, Karen.
Sure.
All right, Teresa.
Just a couple updates on my report, so reminder again, next Monday and Tuesday, we will have the interviews for the engineers for the RFQ, so they'll be from 7 to 9 both nights, so keep reminding you of that, and since, that Tuesday, we won't be able to have a planning and zoning meeting, that meeting's been rescheduled for the following Monday, the 30th, so, the board's all aware of that, so I'll just let you know that. And then I have on there about the South Street reimbursement. We did receive an invoice on that from Larry Coulterman Monday afternoon. It's been forwarded to Mitch, he's reviewing it, it will be on our next city agenda, so we can talk about that again. And then, one thing I don't have on there is that, if you remember, a couple months ago, we had, an insurance audit. Safety benefits came in and reviewed our facilities and our policies, and they just kind of go through everything to make sure, you know, we're not in a liable situation anywhere. And we got the results of that. Basically, all the facilities looked good. They just had a few suggestions on added paperwork for us to do. They like paperwork, just, you know, as far as having a waiver form if somebody besides the city personnel is in a city vehicle. We needed to have basically document when we're every month checking the playgrounds, you know, that documentation in place, making sure when we get new employees, that they read the safety manual, they're signing off saying that they read it and they understand it. So all of it basically it came down to documentation. So I've got all those forms in place. I've sent them copies and we will start doing them. So let you know that. That's all I have is for updates on my report. I do have the new video marketing if you want to see it. It's been tweaked a little bit, so I'll show you that. But remember last time we wanted to do, take out a little bit of the less elevator shots and add a little more park footage and get rid of some of the kind of the direct pictures of alcohol. So that is what they have done.
Maybe just have one of those drone footage advertising opportunities done in 2019,
Did we have one?
or Mr. Fonker had it done. Seems like we just, seems like it.
I don't,
I
unless
remember
if we maybe
some
did it for the
footage.
development corporation or something, I don't think for the city we ever
No.
had it done.
There was something similar for Jamboree when they did it out, and they had the advertising on TV.
Okay.
That might be what you're thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We're committed at this point.
yeah, we signed a contract, we're committed, and we've got it, but, hopefully that's a little bit better, is that what I think?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Addressed what we wanted to.
And really, the plan is to put that on the website.
I was thinking, my thoughts when you first come with it, it would be nice to be able to put it on our website, maybe where a banner is, I don't know what a cost would be with that, but, then when we can use it, and we can certainly, council has no issue, that we can certainly, use, share it with the other entities like that, the chamber, or the HEDF, or whoever would benefit from it, the
Right.
marketing tool.
I'd be interested to put it on our webpage and see, cause you can put a click count, what they call it, a click
Yep,
counter.
you can see who's, yeah.
I'd be curious
looking
how
at-
many hits that gets.
Sure, yeah, we can keep track of that, so.
Great technology, that's it.
I know, I tried to dumb it down so everybody can follow.
Click, yeah, I got it.
So,
I appreciate it.
sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it down. For us old people.
All right, you need a motion for that final payment on there, or to just accept it the way it is?
I can just motion to accept it, they'll bill us regardless, we have to,
The way it
so,
is.
yeah.
Sure, yep.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion?
Any future drone company should be approved prior to, maybe. We're gonna get, if we get a new EDD, they might, hey, we've got this great drone opportunity to market Hartford with. Pump the brakes on that. That's my only word of caution.
I've seen a guy that shoots some drone footage that is a son of somebody sitting here at the table that could probably do that for us.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he does.
All right, we got a motion and a second before we get too far. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we're gonna move to old business. We've got to discuss advertising at the Swenson Sports Complex.
Hey, and Matt's here.
I am. Apologize for not making the last minute and checking my personal email very much, so I missed that we were on there for those last ones. So as we're moving forward with the agreement, we just wanted to narrow down a couple things. We've had conversations, then we had the agreement written up, so we just want to make sure that, I know we had talked about like what types of pictures, that are appropriate for there, but we also wanted to make sure that the city was okay that we did allow, I guess, businesses like the South Bar that, we're pretty much just selling alcohol, to advertise out there as well. So that's kind of, we just want to make sure that we narrow things down and, as we're putting out things to, advertise, what we can have out there or not.
Sure. Thoughts or questions from the council? We've got
Well,
some time to think about this
yeah.
one a little bit, and
We have a line in here, Matt, and I don't know if you've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Examples of inappropriate advertising would include, but not be limited to, advertising of tobacco products, alcohol products, adult-oriented businesses, or other businesses which are not appropriate for youth. So if you look at that, just in the wording, that would kind of cut out a bar.
Yeah, now we cut out the South Bar, but would leave like, the Go,
Someplace serves food, primarily if they're
Right, yeah.
advertising food, I don't think we gotta,
yeah. Well, and that's how we took it, but we wanted to verify.
that's the way I would read that, I don't know. Does that make sense, or are we?
And that's all we wanted to do, after that first thing got put together is make sure that we were all on the same page and saw it the same way, so.
Do you have to pivot, or do you have to find somebody new? I mean, or can you, I just gonna back up, do you have to pivot and find somebody new, or are you gonna be able to utilize the offer that was made previously to print these?
Tony was gonna be here with me tonight, but then, I guess with everything going on, you know, wasn't able to make it, so I haven't had a chance to talk to him about that side of the, you know, the business.
You're getting a pretty
so-
good deal on the,
Right,
the
so.
cost of those, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still on the side, gonna be able to continue that in a separate, you know, since that's not within Blue 42, you know, that he might be able to do that at his home, that type of thing. So,
Print those big banners,
well, I don't know what he's got,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he always comes up with a way to,
true,
I mean, get something done, so.
yeah, yep,
So,
okay.
we haven't had a chance, so.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise I think it's great, good idea.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, were we limiting the duration that they're gonna hang? Is it just gonna be during the summer, or are they gonna hang out there year round, or?
Well, we would take him down at the, or have him, you know, at the end of the season.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
so when softball ended or whatever the last event would be out there, you know, that they'd be taken down so that they just didn't get beat up over the winter. And typically, right now, we were just looking at yearly agreements. So, I mean, it would run from, you know, the beginning of the season, or if we said December 1 to, you know, or January 1, excuse me, to December 31, we'd take them down at the end since there wouldn't be anything out there, so.
Yeah, concern I have would be excessive weight in the event of an ice storm. We've had some, you know, some problems out there previously. It's not on the backstop necessarily, but you get some, you know, you get a good ice storm out there, so that's a wall,
Yeah,
not a fence.
yeah. No, and the only thing is we'd look at possibly just changing the wording for, you know, people so that they knew that, you know, it would be taken down at the end of the season since there's no, and I think most people would get that, but we would make sure, so. And then on that, we would just, it specifically said in the agreement as far as, just as far as having agreements made and payments in by December, but just with everything going on, we'd like a little bit more like leeway and just saying at the beginning of the season, that type of thing, or we were looking at March 1st. You know, because a lot of people by then start looking at what they're gonna do for the summer, advertising things coming up, so.
So somebody help me understand, are we looking at, because when I read this, and I read alcohol products, I think of a banner out there that says Budweiser.
Right.
Or a banner out there that says Miller Lite. I don't necessarily think, I guess I don't think that the South Bar should not be able to participate, because if it just says the South Bar, granted, everybody in town knows what the South Bar is. Everybody in town knows what the goat is. So just because the goat sells food, everybody knows what the goat is. So I think it would be unfair to the South Bar to say they couldn't because they don't offer food. Well, they don't offer food like the goat does. So I guess in my mind, the word alcohol products literally speaks to the product.
Not to the establishment.
Not to the establishment, it speaks to the
I think,
product.
Tom, we had had this conversation, I think that's what he was getting at as well. He had said, you know, specifically to the product, like you said, you don't want a picture of a Budweiser bottle or their
Yeah.
advertisement on there, but if it just says, you know, the South Bar, you know.
Cause I think if there's, I can't remember, what's the sign say at the steakhouse? Doesn't it say something in tavern?
Yep.
The word
Right.
tavern is on there.
Right.
So really, would you let them advertise there, the steakhouse and tavern? Cause it implies tavern.
Right.
So, I don't wanna fall, well, and then you could have a business come to town and whatever, bar and grill. Well, do you say, well, you put bar in your name, so, you know, you can't participate in supporting, I don't know.
South Dakota State Bar might wanna, you know, advertise out there.
That's my interpretation of it, as long as you're not promoting the product.
I would agree with you, Mark.
Whatever
I think we
product
should
they're
exclude
selling.
the South Bar specifically.
Right, or the brewery, or whatever, as long as it's not specific to
As long as their content isn't advertising a tobacco product or an alcohol product
As
or.
long as they're putting their logo on there, which all of us.
Right, as long as
know
their
what
logo with-
logos
yeah.
are, I think will be covered, I guess.
That's just my interpretation of it
And
anyway.
under
Which I'm
number
fine
four,
with.
and under number 4, it does say, you know, the city has the right to reject any content. So if something is questionable,
Yeah.
you know,
Right, that's your
we
fallback.
have discretion, not, exactly, that's your.
That's your fallback. Just say, hey, I gotta run this past the council before. we-"
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that, you know, cause with the election and the whole cannabis thing, I mean, that's a totally different. That wordage in there is gonna wrap up, you know, the stuff that you don't see coming down the road.
Right.
The dispensary on Main Street.
Right.
Yeah, there's a whole other bunch of ordinances we need to review.
Oh, boy. And you asked about changing the dates. It looks like it says we want, in terms of the agreement, writing by December 31, payment by March 1st. So you would like to have,
The agreement up to, the first, and then payment within 14 days of the agreement.
like, for March 1, and then,
Yeah,
so you would like to change that in paragraph 2 to no later than March 1, and then change the payment one to say payment due within 14 days.
Yep.
Can we do that, Teresa?
Yeah, we can make those revisions.
I don't see a problem with that either.
And I can have them add wording in there too, maybe under the content that, it's all, that, you know, the banners will be removed at the end of the season
Season,
for the
yeah,
winter,
yeah,
so,
All right.
so it's clear. Yeah, I can have.
and I guess then the other thing that would come up would be the opportunity to prorate, you know, in case someone decided to add on at the, or, you know, see that opportunity midsummer, you know, that type of thing. To give us the opportunity to do that, or just let them know, I guess it'd just be for the season, so keep the price.
Council.
I guess I would
I don't
just
know how
leave,
you-
I would just leave it, sorry, that was something that just, we had to talk to it about as a group, and then given the shortness of the season, we'll just, come on, I won't even, I'll take that back.
That's a
Sorry,
great-
it just randomly kinda came up, it's not always a good thing in my brain.
Quit doing that random
That
stuff.
gets me in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely gets me
No.
in trouble.
Yeah. Anything else you see on there, Matt, that you guys would like?
no, those were the two pieces that we just wanted to make sure, you know, the date change and just hammer down that one piece, so.
Perfect.
So, yeah, we'll just go with product not establishment, and
Yeah.
use that as our guideline.
I like that.
You bet.
Sounds good.
Do we need, we never did we ever, we have not approved this?
No, and I'll have Tom make the revisions and I'll bring it in December 1st meeting, our next meeting.
And then we can approve it then
Yep.
with the changes. Okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Good to see you. Didn't recognize you with your mask on there.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You know,
I had to look at it.
just have to use my, you know, awesome voice, I guess.
Got a face for radio.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Alright,
Face made for radio.
we'll move to new business, we've got Ricky here for downtown Hartford.
Yeah, I submitted a proposal for you guys for signage for, what we would like to see happen for downtown. And, the proposal, actually, what we decided is to expand it, so maybe we could include some city, directionals to different things within the community as well as downtown. And our thought process is that we would charge the downtown businesses for those that wanted to be on the signage, so they would be paying for their own slats. And then, what we would do is pay for the overall signage, speaking we as Downtown Hartford Inc., But what we're asking is if the city is interested, if they might, if they would like some of those business, or those places put on the signage, that, you pay for half of the sign for us. So it would either be the double sign like you see that we submitted, and then if you guys did not want to do that, if the city does not want to do that, then we'll just go with the business sign for downtown. So I'm here to answer any questions anybody may have. Don't make them technical though.
Oh, we're gonna have technical. I don't know, cast aluminum alloy, what is that, 356? Is that,
All I know is it's under warranty for 1 year, and then the signage is good for 5 to 7 years. That's my technical expertise.
I haven't been getting out much lately, so.
Yeah, it definitely sells plastics.
Yeah.
All right, any questions?
So what you're proposing, if I understand this right, Ricky, is the city just cost share the sign itself?
Correct.
Not necessarily the advertisement, you guys will take care of it?
Correct. We will
Who
charge.
gets what, who pays for what?
Right.
The city doesn't need to weigh in on that, right?
No, not the individual businesses, no. It would just be if you wanted to do the city park pool, whatever you decided to put on there, I mean, we could work through that together. We just, use some examples, you know, so it'd be nice to know where the soccer and baseball fields are, and then there would be directionals on there pointing the arrow which way. Same thing with the bike path and Turtle Creek path, the pool and the city park. That's what we use for examples.
Right.
Just so that you guys would have an idea. So you would have to pay for those
Yeah.
slots. And then the overall signage would be split.
I mean, I assume there'd be enough room for every Main Street business that wanted to participate.
Yeah, we kind of did a survey last year just to see who was interested, and, you know, there's very little interest other than the ones that you see on there.
Yeah.
We have the Legion, Buffalo Ridge Brewing, 120 Event, South Bar, and Joshua's Coffee House.
My only other question is the
Logo.
banner.
Right.
Because there's been talk of changing that,
Right,
and I wonder whether just leave it off.
yeah, this company actually just pulled that off
Just
of our
put it on
website, so he just wanted to give us an idea of what it would
Yeah.
look like,
What
so.
could happen?
Yeah, you know, because we could do something different with that, so this is just a mock-up.
Yeah.
So if I read this right, what you're asking for the city for is half of this proposed number here?
Well, minus the slats for the city, or for the businesses, yeah, minus those slats.
Okay.
And I didn't figure that out, I guess
Okay.
I should have, but I didn't. And then again, this is just a proposal based on, you know, just getting a mock-up ready, so we kind of knew what we were dealing with and how much the cost was. And then that would be ×2. We want to put a sign at First and Western, and then on Second and Highway 38. By the school, kind of in that area. And of course, then there's some issues with the state highway, so I'm working with a gentleman from the DOT just to see what the rules are for signage, and he couldn't tell me that today, so I'll be working through that piece with him to make sure that we can put it there.
And this proposal, Ricky, is for both those signs though, right?
This is for one sign.
This is for one sign.
Mhm. One double-sided unit, because you have to have it on both sides. So it's ×2, so about $5,300. And as we get further in the process, I can certainly, you know, I can have a breakout of all that, you know, exactly what it would cost us before we even agree to it. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we were looking at, and see if there was any interest.
Well, I don't think that's such a crazy idea. I think that's probably a pretty good idea.
And it kind of matches our poles downtown.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same company, same aesthetic looking.
Future solar lights on these, or?
Future solar lights? No comment.
Ricky's done with that.
Wow. Poor Ricky.
That looks good. I like 'em.
So would our next step be then to kind of finalize the process? Who would I work with as far as the city side of it, just so I can bring it back to you and say, you know, this is what the final cost will be, this is what it looks like, and,
Right. Are you gonna be working on getting those quotes on your own? for
Yes.
That piece?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, if you wanna get those quotes and then work with Teresa to get everything added to the packet, so we can make a final, just make a decision on it
Okay.
based on what
All right.
what you get there.
okay. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're working on and see if it can fly.
That's great.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item up, we've got discuss the Chamber Economic Development Director position. So, I'll maybe kick off here a little bit with a little bit of background. We talked in the last meeting about some of the discussions with this position coming open, what kind of opportunity that presents for taking a look at, do we have it structured the right way? Should we be considering looking at splitting the position and have a chamber director, have an economic development director, which spurred a lot of lively conversation, and got thoughts moving, got people kind of thinking, okay, what should this look like, and gave everybody kind of a chance to, what I would say is dream a little bit and say, okay, are some of the things that we've had with this position, are they issues because of the way the position is set up? Or is it just the nature of it and it is what it is, without me saying too much on there? We've met twice, once both times in here. Gabby was over the phone the first time, second time we met here yesterday with some representatives from the HADF, from the chamber, and a couple of members from the council, and kind of just talked over what's this look like, how do we go about, what do we do. Felt like the majority consensus of the group after we met yesterday was let's continue to move forward with the position description as we have it, with some small changes in there for some budgetary requirements, bookkeeping requirements, things like that. Somebody who's adept to doing some more of those kind of things. But the main discussion, which sits outside of the position description, was deciding on better ways to keep accountability for that position. On better ways to have kind of that trilateral accountability between the chamber, the HADF board, and the city, which that gets into a lot more detail and isn't fully defined yet, but some of the things that were discussed were, possibly, especially even at the beginning of it, maybe even a weekly or bi-weekly meeting of a rep from the chamber, a rep from the HADF board, and a rep, and most likely Teresa from the city, to sit down and this development director, to sit down and go through, what are we getting done, what aren't we getting done, how are things working, all of that. Also more accountability in the reviews, the 90-day, 180-day, and the annual review of all three of those entities being just more involved, more of that. So we also, there was different proposals, there were different ideas that were out there throughout this process to say, hey, can we contract off the economic development part of it and then look at hiring. Most of what everything comes down to at the end of the day though is it's money. We can't afford to do everything, even if you have big dreams to do everything. It's just at the end of the day, kind of look at the pocketbook and say, okay, what can we do? I feel like we did come away from the group yesterday saying that it would be a good idea to keep moving forward with what we have and see what we get for applicants. And if our applicants make us think a different direction, then maybe we would pause and say, okay, well, is there still a way to make this better? But really one of the major catalysts really is to just say, the but let's keep moving. We need to keep moving, we need to keep moving forward, we need to get some applicants in and take a look at what we get, because that next person might be the person that stays here for 4 or 5 years in that position. They might not be, but we wanna make sure we continue to look at that and make it the best we can, because as we heard around the room, we just wanna make sure that the chamber's got exactly what they need, and that they're happy with their
That's the word.
director.
Happy is the word.
Yep, that the development foundation has exactly what they need. And, as a city, we just wanna make sure that we're helping to make sure that
Correct.
happens. So, with all that said, we've got position description.
So you have a job description in your packet. I did put one on the desk before the meeting because, like Jeremy said, out of that discussion, basically the only tweak to the job description is we wanted something in there to say, basically have this candidate have at least some basic bookkeeping skills. So under the required knowledge and abilities, I add basic knowledge of bookkeeping. So we've added that to the job description, but basically otherwise everything else has stayed the same on that. Like Jeremy said, as we move forward, we'll maybe do some internal things as far as the accountability and how we, work with the other 2 entities to, keep on tabs of the new employee and hopefully make sure it's working for everybody. But I put that new job description in there because of that one thing added, so.
The one thing that jumps out at me, and I've joked about it for a couple of weeks, is good communication skills. We have something more descriptive or tangible than good.
What would you suggest? Certainly won't.
Better than average?
Wow.
Well, discussion. Yeah, what did I miss?
I'll follow up from what the mayor said. I was here yesterday in that meeting. I guess one of the comments I made was, I don't wanna see us do this again. I mean, it's like all of a sudden this thing was off the rails. We gotta figure out how to make sure that we're keeping track of this thing, so if something is getting awry, that we got it stopped and we can figure out what the heck's going on. Because I would venture, most of us sitting at this table really did not have a clue that this thing was going off the rails, as bad as it was. And part of the reason I was one of the guys that was pushing to split this was because of that. That I think it was not able to be done by one person and do it really well. I'm okay, and I had to almost spit the words out when I said it. I was okay with us moving forward with this, because I was really set that we had to split this position. But I understand from a cost standpoint, this is probably our best avenue to go. That was pretty calm, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, accountability, the expectation, in my opinion, was our new candidate was coming in at a level that our old candidate left at.
Right.
When we hired our last employee, when we hired Bunker, we had no expectations of him. We really like this guy's gotta start from scratch, really, and we didn't have that same expectation of, we expected him to come in at
Yes.
a highly operated, a high level, and just, so, that, everybody just said, we'll just put this thing in neutral, it'll drive itself, and
Right.
it did, so.
And we're probably better off looking at it from the standpoint of bringing, and maybe that was another thing we talked about too. We really need to take a look at what are we doing for training, what are we doing for setting this position up at the beginning, because I think you're right, Travis. We have this expectation level that we have a person that we didn't have to do that with. I think we have to look at whoever it is and say they don't know a thing.
Yeah.
We gotta tell them everything that they need to know.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that we gotta make sure we do. So. that's enough for me.
I don't know, I think the council's expectation though match the resume.
I agree.
I don't think the expectations were, I mean, I don't think we were shooting for the moon based on the resume. Based on the background, that's my own opinion.
Right.
So,
Mhm. Other comments? Anybody? Okay. We left, we put this on here in this way, so we could go over it, discuss it. Would like, in the essence of keeping things moving, especially in the season we're in, would be looking for a motion to approve the position description with any changes you want to put in your motion. And advertise it and post it.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented and start advertising.
Second.
Okay, a motion is second. Discussion? I am none. No vote? Randall?
Yes.
O'Hara?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Monahan?
Yeah.
All right. Nice work. Thank you. All right.
8:04.
Fatal four, we're moving right along, right? Next. We're, one there, I'm gonna put just, excuse me for just one minute.
Order
We'll
pizza.
take a little recess here.
Are you ordering pizza or what?
Yeah, I gotta order some pizza here.
Whiz.
I'd like to get on the city's guest Wi-Fi yet tonight. That'd be a huge success for me.
You don't,
I
you're-
don't want
you
that.
can't get on?
No internet.
Huh.
Are you on Arden? Because that's what Lavana's having trouble
I
with.
ended up using the jetpack.
I have a computer that works.
What time did you get here?
Mr.
I got here about 5 and made sure nothing.
And Mark
So
on
we're
Arden?
talking about
I
here.
didn't get on today.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've
Yeah.
had it.
So you know, you're not getting a good signal over. I got it.
Maybe the Golden West guy, there we go. Ah,
Really, keeping me from throwing this across the room in this cord.
Side wireless.
I'm currently on my hotspot as well,
You guys need another copy of this? You need another copy of it.
I just was texting Jake and Justin out here. So, I think this is what we'll do though. Oh, wait, till they're done talking.
Seems like cricket on now.
I'm on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
That is weird though, that some.
Attention to detail, Jones.
Like I
What's
said
that?
about
It's
the
either
roads,
it's
we
not
did
working
last
or
week.
it's, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before. Are we leaving this 2024 because that's the way it's titled on?
It's not.
It's 2025.
It needs to be amended.
Okay.
Oh, on the job, I saw that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
they showed me one other thing.
I looked at
The
that tonight.
ideal applicant, we should say maybe, should possess the ID, it says
ID
ID.
account, gotcha.
ID candidate.
Well, not
Ideal
ID, yeah,
candidate.
maybe we're ID enough. No, gotcha.
On the communications,
I'm all about making this, everybody happy.
on the communication skills thing, communication skills should at a minimum include verbal, nonverbal, and written forms of communication. Those are things that we need to do.
Which page
Day to
did
day.
it? Yeah, which page did it?
Oh, yeah, the one that had the wrenches on it.
One at a time.
That's non-verbal, I mean, should it just be verbal and written?
I looked at that.
And change the good to excellent.
Yeah,
I was on a roll.
Because that's so key, I mean, that's part of it.
That's a better word.
Somebody else.
Alright, we're just
Excellent
going for
verbal.
just a minute here.
Excellent communication, verbal and written.
We'll get going, yeah, we got some people.
Verbal, nonverbal, visual, written. That says, that's what Indeed says.
What's
It's
nonverbal?
nonverbal.
Huh?
What's nonverbal
Do
communication?
you want me to show you?
That's why she doesn't want to put it out.
I was thinking the same thing. This could have went another way tonight.
Alright, well, we're waiting on a couple folks to get here. But I think what we'll do is we'll start on this. So, under correspondence, we have received word, and what many of you might have seen, or noticed it on the edge of town even a couple of weeks ago. There are some signs on the edge of town that say that Hartford has been recognized as the 2020 Small Community of the Year by the Governor's Office of Economic Development, and the award is from Governor Christie Nolan. And so, normally they present that award at the conference in the spring, and this year all of that got canceled because of COVID and all of those things. So, there's always a large Community of the Year award and a small Community of the Year award. And we had a hunch that we were a finalist, but we didn't really know where things played out and where things were. You know what? I think it's kind of nice to be able to get that heads up. So what had happened is there's miscommunication in the state, and DOT actually put signs up before anybody told us. So the signs got put up, and it was like, well, I think we won. And so, so now, as of tomorrow, it becomes official. And so maybe what I'll do for this part of what we're looking at here is quick read the press release that's going out tomorrow from the GOED. So, official as of tomorrow, Governor Nolan announces Hartford as Small Community of the Year. Governor Christie Nolan announced today that Hartford was chosen as the Small Community of the Year. Historically, the award is presented during the Governor's Office of Economic Development Annual Conference in the spring, but due to COVID-19 pandemic, the conference was canceled. Then we have a quote from Governor Nolan. The Hartford community has a lot to be proud of. Hartford has revitalized their downtown, laid plans for a new wastewater treatment facility, and made other strides in economic development and quality of life. Hartford's recognition as Small Community of the Year is well earned and well deserved. Then they added in a section that I was asked to contribute, and I put on there that it's an absolute honor that Hartford has been chosen as the Small Community of the Year for 2020 in the great state of South Dakota. Our citizens, our stakeholders, and our community leaders have worked exceptionally hard to make Hartford the very best it can be. The undeniable spirit of a can-do attitude thrives in our community, and this award belongs to everyone here. We can all be proud of the impact we've made on building a wonderful community with a rich history and lofty aspirations for the future. As long as we continue to work together, support each other, and celebrate each other's successes, I'm confident we'll continue to do amazing things in Hartford. I also have a quote in here from the person who may have put in the application. Congratulations to the City of Hartford, Hartford Area Development Foundation, and all other organizations that contributed to this achievement. This award is a testament to the power of collaboration when leaders, citizens, and community organizations work together. The Minnehaha Economic Development Association is proud to count Hartford as one of its members, said Jesse Funkert, Executive Director, Makita Makita. And then it has a notation on the bottom that says former Governor Bill Janklow created this Community of the Year award in 1989 to show appreciation and recognition to communities that have made strides in economic development, community enhancements, added jobs, and invested in the quality of life for its residents. Watertown was named South Dakota's first community of the year that year. So everybody in this room has a lot to be proud of. We have this to look at tonight. It's going to be able to hang out. But Community of the Year in recognition of its outstanding community development and leadership. Award presented to Hartford 2020, Governor Christine O. So we're waiting for a couple of folks that thought the meeting was going long. I have no idea why they think that. That we want to be in the picture. We want everybody here tonight to be in the picture. Like we said on here, this is for everybody. So I don't know how we're going to take it, but maybe we can set a timer. We can prop up a camera. We can do something. But I really want to make sure nobody's left out. So. So we got a couple folks we're waiting for yet. I know Jake's here. I'll check the text. What we could do.
I think we have one more coming.
One more? Okay. Looks like Justin's out. Still at the school board meeting. Said it's going to be a bit for him yet. So, and Eric will be here. So, I think we got everybody we need.
10 seconds.
Other doesn't mind. Yep. And Mr. Fonker would love to be here. He's awaiting a result.
I know it is.
I do too. Talk to him.
Yeah.
So, is anybody in here who's like a professional photographer? Like minus
I'm a get it done kind of person. I can line people up.
There you go.
I know. Let's go.
Line them up. Come around. You gotta come around the set of the best.
Yep, I always go to the back row.
Don't want to take any breaths.
Everybody just hold your breath.
Yeah, hold your breath.
Karen, okay, you're definitely gonna have to get in.
I can tell. You can go back so far.
Oh, definitely.
You can see the flag back there, flag of flag.
We're always in the front.
We're always
Get up here.
Maybe you can pull and I can about see the flag,
You are getting right back.
Leave that around that. All right, that works.
You want to stand? I'll let you hold it up, as long as I can see it.
These are everybody say Kobe.
Mark? Okay. Everybody say COVID is better.
COVID.
I'll take one.
We're okay.
One more. Okay, she's here.
That's awesome. Nice job.
I saw it online, but I was like, oh, I don't need to watch.
How many people are gonna be yelling at us? Oh, yeah. What do you want to do?
I'd wait 14 days before you put that out anywhere. Make sure. If everybody's good after 14 days, I'd throw it out.
Give comment on.
You're feeling me, yeah.
Tell you what, one quick thing I would say is that's going to be out tomorrow on social media, so we want to make sure that we share it on the Hartford page, quickly, probably once we get it on Hartford social media, share and like, share it all over if you would, share it in your organizations, so that we can make sure that we get that word out, so. Congratulations, everybody, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Way to get it going again.
All right, let's go to motion to go into executive session.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I don't think it'll take long. Oh, sorry, I was grabbing the word.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?